Imagine for a moment a god who can bend time and space at will, reshape the fabric of reality and control the very flow of life and death. Now picture a being whose mere presence can burn the stars and lay waste to entire galaxies. But here's the twist. These two creatures, these titans of unimaginable power, are about to face off. What happens when one of them is bound by the very laws of time, while the other is its master? Can the immutable force of fate be bent by sheer will? Or will one god simply erase the other from existence? Right now, Dr. Manhattan faces the ultimate decision. Does he transcend all, or does he fall to Darkseid's unrelenting drive for total control? Get ready to witness a battle of ideologies, powers, and destinies, one that will leave you questioning the very nature of existence. The sky darkens. A violent ripple in the fabric of the multiverse tears open reality itself. Through the rift, a god emerges. His name is Darkseid, ruler of Apokolips, conqueror of worlds. His eyes, glowing with the power of the Omega Force, lock onto his target, Dr. Manhattan. Every step he takes echoes like thunder across the cosmos, his booted feet slamming into the earth as if to assert his dominance over every atom. Darkseid speaks, his voice a thunderous boom, as if the very cosmos itself trembles at his words. Darkseid, in a deep, ominous voice. You are but a fleeting moment in time, Manhattan. I, Darkseid, do not bend to time. I control it. Your existence is an anomaly, and I will erase it. The ground quakes beneath his presence. He raises his hands, his fingers sparking with the energy of cosmic destruction. The stars seem to dim in response, as if they fear the wrath of this tyrant. Darkseid is the embodiment of ultimate authority, the perfect conqueror, relentless and absolute in his quest to dominate everything, to make the universe kneel before him. But before Darkseid can unleash his wrath, a cold and unsettling voice interrupts the silence. In an instant, the world changes. The air grows still. The very atoms of the air seem to freeze in place as if time itself has halted. And then, standing in the midst of the chaos, is Dr. Manhattan. His body, glowing with an ethereal blue energy, forms from the very particles around him. He floats untouched by the destruction unfolding beneath him. Dr. Manhattan, his voice soft, almost detached. Time is irrelevant, Darkseid. You cannot command it. You can only follow its path. You can never control the flow of destiny. The words hang in the air, thick with the weight of their truth. Manhattan's cold gaze scans Darkseid, measuring him not just with his eyes, but with his mind. He knows this moment. He has seen it all, every possible outcome, every decision, every death, every victory, and yet the question lingers. Will this moment be different? Darkseid, unimpressed by the philosophical words, lets out a guttural laugh, his hands crackling with destructive energy. He charges forward, unleashing his Omega beams, twin rays of apocalyptic power designed to annihilate anything in their path. But just as they reach Dr. Manhattan, the unthinkable happens. Time stops. In the split second before the Omega beams can hit him, Dr. Manhattan extends his hand, and reality itself freezes. Everything, the beams, the very fabric of time, stops. Manhattan doesn't just exist outside of time, he transcends it. He moves through it like a spectator in an infinite movie. He watches as Darkseid's powerful attack becomes a mere still frame in his mind. Dr. Manhattan steps forward, effortlessly walking through the frozen scene. The beads of light from the Omega beams hang suspended in the air, caught in the moment before impact. He studies Darkseid, a being of immense will, and for a brief instant, Manhattan considers his fate. Dr. Manhattan, voice calm but with a hint of realization. You are trapped in a loop, Darkseid. You think you control the end, but you only circle the same path. Your need for dominance is your prison. Darkseid's fury burns brighter, but the truth of Manhattan's words stings. No matter how powerful he is, Darkseid's quest for absolute control, his obsession with the anti-life equation, has always been his weakness. His inability to break free from the cycle of conflict and conquest. Manhattan sees it. He knows it. But Darkseid is not one to submit. As the energy from the Omega beams still hovers around him, he does something unimaginable. He shatters the flow of time itself, forcing a crack in Manhattan's cosmic control. Darkseid, roaring with fury. You do not understand, Manhattan. I am the end. The equation is in me. You cannot escape the inevitability of my victory. With a roar, Darkseid unleashes his full might, breaking through the frozen moment with a blast of energy so intense, the fabric of reality itself begins to tear. The world begins to unravel. Time snaps back into motion, but it is no longer the same. It's warping, twisting, collapsing. Darkseid's power is pulling at the very threads of existence. Planets, stars, galaxies, all tremble in the wake of his fury. Dr. Manhattan, for the first time, seems unsure. For the first time, he feels the overwhelming force of something he cannot predict, chaos. Dr. Manhattan, his voice now tinged with urgency. You think you control the end, Darkseid, but you forget. The end is always changing. Even now you are slipping through your own grasp. Manhattan begins to fight back, manipulating time and space, rewinding the flow of energy around them. But Darkseid is relentless, his desire for conquest growing stronger. He locks eyes with Manhattan, and for a moment the two are no longer just gods. They are reflections of opposite forces. One is bound to time, the other seeks to dominate it. The battle rages across dimensions, a cataclysmic clash of ideologies and powers. Each strike is a world-shattering blow. Manhattan bends time in impossible ways, while Darkseid's Omega beams cut through the very fabric of reality, leaving scars in their wake. But even as the battlefield shifts, one thing becomes clear. This is no longer a fight for victory. It's a fight for existence itself. As the battle nears its climax, the universe itself trembles. The very concept of reality begins to fray at the edges. Manhattan looks into Darkseid's eyes, seeing not just a tyrant, but a tragic reflection of his own existence. One man's obsession with power, another's with detachment. For a brief, final moment, both pause. The silence between them speaks volumes. Dr. Manhattan knows what comes next. He sees the countless potential outcomes, the infinite branches of time. But this one, this moment, might be different. With a flick of his wrist, he pushes back the cosmic tide, not with force, but with understanding. Time and reality ripple as Manhattan pulls the strings of fate. Dr. Manhattan, calm, but with finality. The end is already written. But it is not yours to control, Darkseid. A burst of blue light engulfs the battlefield, and for a split second everything is silent. And then, darkness. In the end, Dr. Manhattan stands alone. Darkseid, the once mighty tyrant, is gone. But the question lingers. Did Manhattan truly win? Or was this just another twist in the endless cycle of time? Sometimes, victory isn't about power. It's about understanding. And sometimes, understanding is more powerful than anything in the universe. But is this truly the end? Or is it just another beginning?